This video is going to be about why baseball is not boring. So I was looking here on YouTube, searching around looking for videos defending baseball and saying like why it's fun, why it's the best, why it's not boring. But I couldn't really find much. No actual reasons, concrete evidence why baseball isn't boring and is actually the exact opposite. So I'm like, all right, let's just do a video about that. So this video is why baseball is not boring. Let's do it. I'm going to talk about a few things that makes this game so great, and then I'll also talk about a few reasons the people who say baseball is boring, their reasons. I'm going to discredit those, or at least try my best. But anyways, welcome to my channel, Upswing Baseball, where we give you tips and drills to improve your baseball skills. Except in this video, you probably won't improve your baseball skills with this, but if you're here to do that, literally watch any of my other videos and you can there. But subscribe and hit the bell if you're new, and let's just do this. So, the reasons why baseball is great. My first one is that there is no time limit. And also the game is never over until it's actually over. Sometimes it kinda is, like when a team's down 10 runs in the last inning, like there's a 99.9% chance they're not gonna come back, but it actually has happened, so there's still a tiny chance. Unlike some other sports, like hockey, you're down 3 goals with a minute left, you're not gonna score all those goals. Basketball, you're down 20 with a couple minutes left, you can't make that up. Same with football, soccer, everything. There's no clock, there's no icing the game, none of that. There's also no ties. There's nothing I hate more when two teams battle it out for a couple hours and all that comes out of it is a tie. Like there's nothing decided, the teams are equal, like what the heck. Thank God basketball and hockey don't have ties, but football, psh, what are you guys doing? So yeah, like I said, there's no kneeling like in football, there's no foul game like in basketball. You have to pitch to the hitter, there's no way around it. So that's all the points I have on how there's no time limit and all the reasons why baseball is better than other sports in that area. But now we're gonna move on, we're gonna talk about how there's more to the game than people think. I could probably make an entirely different video about this, all the different things that there are, all the different layers of baseball, just how really complex and awesome it is. So maybe I'll do that someday, but for now I'm just gonna give you a few examples of this. You might have known this, but maybe you didn't. Like the batter and pitcher are playing their own little game inside of like the bigger game. The hitter is trying to guess what pitch the pitcher is gonna throw and where he's gonna throw it, and the pitcher is trying to guess what the hitter isn't thinking and throw that pitch, throwing what he's not ready for. It's really crazy and it kind of makes your head hurt when you really think about it. There's a lot more thinking than most people think. There's also a lot of sign stealing that goes on. So if you don't know what signs is, it's like when like the hitter's up, he looks over at third base to see what his coach wants him to do, bunt or hit and run or whatever. And also like the signs that the catcher puts down, how many fingers for whatever pitch. You probably didn't know that the other team is trying to steal those signs all game so they know what's coming before it actually happens. And then another example of this is all of the unwritten rules in baseball. So just here's a couple of them. So like if a pitcher intentionally hits one of your teammates, the pitcher on your team has to hit one of theirs. You're not supposed to admire a homer, or you're probably gonna get plunked. You're not supposed to step on the mound unless you're the pitcher. And you're not supposed to bunt to break up a no-hitter. And you shouldn't rub a hit by the pitch. Like when you wear one in the arm, you're not supposed to rub it like it hurts. You're supposed to be a man and stuff, you know? So hopefully from those examples you get an idea of what I mean by that, but there's a lot more than that. But now we're gonna talk about how the game is a game of inches. If you release the ball just like a millimeter off, like a millimeter too far out in front or too far back, it's just gonna go to a completely different spot. It can be the difference between a ball and a strike. And if you hit the ball the tiniest bit off, like this is the sweet spot right here, you hit it here, it's gonna go a totally different spot in the field. And also many of the balls in play like miss the fielder's glove by just inches. It can sometimes make the difference where you play, like you play a half step over here, you're ready for it, and then when you're over there, you get that ball that's to that side just by that much. And also whether a runner is safe or out is also often decided by little milliseconds. It's like bang bang and stuff. Like you might have heard people say it's a game of inches, but it's more like a game of little millimeters, you know? So that's all of my reasons, well not all of them, but that's some of my reasons why baseball is great and not boring. Now we're gonna discredit some of the reasons, the common reasons that people have as to why baseball is boring. So people say it's so slow paced and it's so long. Like whole 3-hour baseball game. Like right now, the commissioner of the MLB is trying to shorten games for some reason. But it's actually not that slow paced or long. Like it's just about as long as a football game, right? And it's not really that much longer than other sports either. So when people say it's slow paced, they usually compare it to football, which is like the action sport. But I looked this up, and according to the Wall Street Journal, in an NFL game, the ball is only in play for 11 minutes. Because you know, the clock is running when they're in the huddle and stuff. And they also said that there's actually more replays than actual live action. And baseball obviously isn't that much better, but when I looked it up, how much action is there in a baseball game, Google told me that there is 18 minutes, so compared to 11. So in conclusion, if you football fans are looking for action, you should switch sports, go over to baseball. But just kidding, kind of, not really. But I don't really know how they counted those 18 minutes. Like, I don't know if it counts like the batter just watching pitches go by. So I'm not really sure, but Google doesn't lie, right? So it's gotta be right. So the next reason that people say baseball is boring is because there's not that much action. And while that is kind of true, I kind of think a lack of action kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. So back in 2013, there was an average of 8 runs per game and around 15-ish hits per game. You compare that to other sports, like in the NBA, there's 200 plus points a game. NFL, there's probably like 40-ish plus points a game, kind of ranges, but there's also hundreds of yards each team gains throughout the game. So you're like, how are these numbers helping your argument? Well, but this one I'm not really trying to prove that baseball is better than the other ones. I'm just trying to prove that it's kind of equal. Like the excitement of a basket in an NBA game, like a little layup, doesn't even come close to a run in an MLB game. Just the crazy amount of points scored by each team, they just go back and forth, scoring on almost every possession. The amount of points kind of makes each individual point less exciting. While in baseball, there's a little bit less runs, so when they do score, it's a little bit more exciting. So I hope that makes sense. It's not really an airtight argument, but you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you got me. But I want to talk about the people that hate baseball. And I have found that most people who hate it don't even know much about it. Now I'm not gonna really even defend this one because it doesn't really need to be proved. But if you are one of those people who hate baseball, yeah, you know who you are. But a lot of times they just don't really know what's going on. You might think you do, like whoever scores more runs wins, you know that, but you don't know a lot of the other stuff. And the real like beauty of the game and stuff can only really be found if you like play the sport and know a lot about it. So yeah, if you hate the game, you kind of just have to give it another chance to learn more about it, and then you'll probably find that you don't hate it so much. So I hope I did a pretty good job of proving that baseball isn't that boring in this video. If you still think it's boring, let me know in the comments below, and I will make a part 2 to this video, and I'll try to change your mind in that one. But if you don't think baseball is boring and you're on my side this whole time, you love baseball, let me know in the comments below if you have any other reasons why you love the game, and I would love to see those. There's a couple things I want to tell you about before you go that are all down in the description. There are a bunch of links down there to baseball gear that you can check out, as well as links to find Upswing Baseball on social media, and a link to head over to my website and the Upswing Baseball blog. So you should definitely check that out. It's pretty great. But that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this video. I will see you in the next one.